Thanks for tuning in. It's Lela from Miss Lela Pink Journey. I am responding to a question regarding the Embrilliance software. I am only just so much versed on it. I'm still taking classes and watching videos and learning myself, but I do a lot of trial by error. A young lady asked me how I use the knockdown stitch. I'm going to share with you how I use it and a couple of differences that I found in the knockdown stitch. So I'm going to go under File, open a recent file, and it's going to be this one. I just finished stitching this one out earlier. However, I had a knockdown stitch behind it. I have a few of the different Embrilliance software platforms, or but I have a few of them. One of them is Essentials. I have Enthusiasts. I have Merrily, and I also have Stitch Artist. So this is Enthusiast to use the knockdown stitch, I believe. Don't quote me, because you just got to go into the frequently asked questions and you'll find all that information out. After I open up the file, the design file I want, you'll see on the side the different layers of my actual design. And while I'm here, let me just tell you what letters, the font that I use. The first font for hugs, I click over here on the actual font, the letters, and that font is Stitchtopia, AMALFI, Coast, and this is the 1.5 inch. Heaven is the same font. From is Exotic, and that font is by Embrilliance. It's one of their font collections. I really enjoy using the Embrilliance fonts because of all that I can do with them. The Embrilliance BX fonts. I do have a video showing a little bit on how I work with some of the BX fonts, I believe. If not, just ask me and I'll be happy to do one. It'll be my version of how I use it. So for the knockdown stitch, you go under Utility, and you can add the knockdown stitch. For the blanket I recently stitched, I didn't use this actual set of numbers for my knockdown stitch, but I'll show you how this one looks. So it's at 1.2 millimeters for the density. There's no bidirectional. Stitch length 2.5. Inflation is 1.0. My stitch count here for this actual design right now is 17125. I'm going to click OK for the knockdown stitch. The knockdown stitches by themselves are 9444. So let me click off of that. Now the entire design is 26568. Well, you see, first of all, how the letters are open here when you are going to do this version of the knockdown stitch. You can change that if you want to have a full knockdown of the entire design. But for one thing, if I was going to stitch this, I would select all, and I would click this button to remove the hidden stitches. I'm going to look at the stitch count, 26568. When I click this, the stitch count is now 26353 because it removed stitches from the background that were unnecessary. That is my explanation of that portion. Not the technical explanation, but my explanation of it. I am now going to click the undo button to undo the whole knockdown stitch. I'm going to go back to Utility, add knockdown stitching, and I'm going to change the inflation. I'll leave everything else the same, and I'll bring the inflation up to, let's see, it was at 1, let's try 2. So click OK, and let's see the difference. So 2 is plenty enough because it actually highlighted the entire design for me. So that's really good. And the stitch count went up to 28380. And I'm going to select all. And then I'm going to click remove hidden stitches. 28380. Let's see if it makes a difference. Yeah, it went down to 28147. So that did change. And you can see over here your underlay right over here for your knockdown stitches is the underlay, they call it. And of course, I would try to match when I'm getting ready to stitch. I try to match the underlay to the thread of the actual item I'm going to stitch on. For instance, I did a tan blanket, so I would use tan threads for that. I'm going to try that utility one more time. Change up, add knockdown stitch, and I'm going to go to 3.0. Let's just see what it looks like. Because that was the question of what's the difference in the different knockdown stitches. And what I'm trying to say in my mind is just try it, because I won't know until I just try to hit these buttons, or I'll be sitting here looking at this software forever. So now I said 3.0, and that's pretty good too. Very nice. That will be a really nice stitch out. And it went up to 28819 for the stitch count. So that's very good. I enjoy using the knockdown stitch for items like, fleece blankets and really thick gym towels and things like that. That works out really well for me. But that's it. I'll also share a video, and maybe I'll include in this video on how I actually stitched that blanket. And I'll also show you what happened when I did not use the knockdown stitch for this, almost for the same design. So thanks so much for watching. If you got anything out of this video, hit the like button and please subscribe. I'll make more videos. Bye now. Here I'm just sharing a quick demo of how I find the center of items to hoop when I'm not using the hooping station. And of course, this blanket is pretty large. I had to rehoop it after this portion of the video, but I'm just showing you what I do to find the center, fold it in half, lay it down. That's wash away stabilizer there. I have a couple of weights laying on top of it just because I'm only using one hand here. But I open it up and try to make sure I still have it in the center, and then I grab the top portion of my mighty hoop and just plop it down. They would normally lay out flatter than that if I was using two hands. So I'll rehoop this, but this is to give you an idea of how I hoop. Finishing up this request for a blanket. It has Hugs from Heaven. I really like the material on this. It's nice and thick, so I had to do a knockdown stitch on it. And I used wash away stabilizer on the back. Once I wet it, this stabilizer will be removed, and then more of the wash away stabilizer on the front will be removed onto the other side of the other end of the blanket. So I already put it in wirelessly over to my embroidery machine here. So I'm going to hit the wireless button. I'm going to grab the phrase. It's right here. And there it is on the screen. And that sets it onto my screen. Next, I will hit End Edit. Take the camera feature and hit that. Let me cancel that for a minute and see if you were able to see that. That's the camera feature. Once I hit that, it tells me that keep your hands away from the machine. Okay. And that's how it shows on the screen, and let me know if it's in the middle. That is the middle of my design. So that's good. And then I click the camera feature off to do more, and then I click this little camera feature so that I can scan. The frame will move to be scanned with the built-in camera. So I click OK, and then it moves around and it actually scans my work area. And since I'm using the Mighty Hoop system, the machine doesn't recognize the size I'm using, and that is why I scan my actual layout here. I even scan when I'm using the hoops that come with the machine. So now it's showing me exactly how it looks on here, how it would actually stitch out. in the stitch area. So that is the actual look of that. First of all, I need to rotate it because it's upside down from what I need. So I'll hit rotate and hit 90 degrees twice. And so now it's actually sitting like I like it to sit. This is the actual size, the dimensions on it. I want it to be a little bit bigger, but not that much bigger. I'm going to hit OK. And I normally do this before I do anything, but talking made me forget. Normally after I get to finish scanning it, I hit the edit button and I hit size. Whether I'm going to size it or not, I hit the second size button because it's going to reset the pattern from what I did up here. So that's why I like to do that first, even if I'm going to size it or not. So I'll click it once and then I'll go back to rotate it twice to get it on the screen like I'd like to see it. It looks good, except I want it to be a little bit bigger. I see I have enough space, got about a 1 inch before it can hit the back of this actual hoop, the mighty hoop. And then there's plenty of space on the side, so I can make it a little bit bigger. But before I do that, I'm going to move it back just a little bit. So there, it's really close. Although it still has a little bit more room. You can tell by this pink pen here. The pink pen, I wouldn't want it to go anywhere closer than that, as far as that's about 1 inch or so. And there it shows here, it's really close to that. Once I make it a little bit bigger, I didn't mean to move it. Let me undo that because it was in the center exactly. Once I make the design a little bit bigger, I'm going to come back up here and move it again. Move it down so that it doesn't hit the actual mighty hoop. This is an 8x9 mighty hoop. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. So this is pretty good. I'm going to click OK. And then I will hit the end edit button. I'm taking one more look to make sure I have enough clearance that it won't hit the back of my actual hoop. And I can tell by where that pin is that it's going to be right across there. So there's still enough space there. The other thing you can do is you can do a trace. You can click this button to trace, and then it traces the actual area that's going to stitch. If you were standing here, you'd be able to look under to see how much space you're going to have. Another one you can use is this button. With this button, you can move it to each area, and I'll click this back and see if I can let you see. So it shows just how close it's going to get. And see, there's enough clearance there where it's going to be okay. There's enough space that shows just how far back the actual stitch will be. We can already see that there's enough space around the other perimeter, so I don't have to worry about that. But that's how you would do that. Let me go back to the center here. Then I'm going to click OK. And I have a few colors set, but they're not the colors that I normally use. So I'm going to hit Embroidery so that I can actually choose my colors. The first color is going to be this actual knockdown stitch that I use from Embrilliance. And that color is on spool number 2. So I'm going to click the magic wand, and it's already on 2. So I don't have to change anything. It's going to stitch color number 2, which is that color. The next color is red, so I'm going to click number 3. And that color on my actual machine here is number 8. So I'm going to click number 8. And see that changes to 8 to let me know it's going to stitch red, 8. The next one is that dad. And so I would like to match what I used on the other side. So let me just take a quick look at that. So I used cinnamon. The cinnamon is really pretty. It was going to be between brown and cinnamon, but the cinnamon is really pretty on this actual blanket. So cinnamon is sitting there on number 4. is cinnamon. I even put it up there so I can see it and make sure I didn't mistake it for brown. It's really close. Cinnamon is on number 4, so it's showing me number 4 already. That's good. And the next one is going to be the and sign, and I wanted to match the from here. So that is on my machine is number 7. So we're going to take ivory for number 7. And the last one is hugs. I believe I'm going to make that ivory as well, number 7. Well, let me make sure what I have here. So number 2 is the knockdown stitch, and that color matches the blanket exactly. Number 8 is red, just to give a little flair. And I have red over here, so that'll tie into that. Number 4 is the wording, and that is cinnamon. So that's number 4. On my actual embroidery machine, I have the color number 4 up there, thread. The next one is the and sign. I want it to be 7. And the word hugs. I'm going to make it stand out a little bit, so I will make it that actual ivory color so they can match this design. So then I'll click OK. And it's ready to go. I'm going to keep it on 700 for the speed per minute. Sometimes I bring it down a little bit lower. Just depends. And I'm in no hurry here. This is going to take 58 minutes to stitch, and it's 26,925 stitches is what it is. 58 minutes, 5 color changes, and I have the water-soluble stabilizer here on the top, and that'll help the stitches from sinking in along with the actual knockdown stitch. So we click lock and start, and we're off and running. Here you'll see a close-up of the front of the design and then the back after the wash away stabilizer has been rinsed. Thank you so much for taking out time to watch my video. If you found this content of any help, please like and subscribe, and please share. Have a great day.